Hey folks, it's Farmer Marshall. I'm not sure, but I think I'm starting to have a problem. The problem is seeds. Plenty of seeds here, more seeds, more seeds. And then I thought I was done. But then the Baker Creek catalog came in. This is 100 and some pages. Flowers, vegetables, seeds. And then I was online and I thought I was done. Thought I was completely done. And I took a little peek over at the MIgardener website. Now these came in today. So let's go over some of the seeds I have. I only have so much space. I have a good idea of what I'm going to be planting. I want to go over what I have. And even though I mentioned MIgardener and Baker Creek, I get my seeds from a variety of places. But this, well, actually, these here all going in the garden too. I just hope I don't run out of space. But I have a solution for that. I have some trellises that I'm putting up. I think these trellises are like 16 feet long. And I can walk. I bent them over. I haven't set them up yet. I bent them over. I can have rows 4 feet wide, and trellis will still be about 8 feet tall or 7 feet tall, whatever. Taller than me, I can walk under. So I decided to start out with what everyone probably has in their garden. Tomatoes. Yeah, these are some I got from MIgardener. Some yellow, I can't even pronounce the name. I don't know if you can say it. These are indeterminate tomatoes. Indeterminate as opposed to determinate tomatoes. Indeterminate tomatoes can grow 6 feet tall. They can grow up to 20 feet tall depending on the variety. I know when I first heard that, I was just stunned. But some varieties can literally get 20 feet tall. I'm not trying for that, but I want something that's going to grow up, because I'm trying to conserve some of my gardening space, but I'm trying to increase it. So I figured if I grow up, I can get as much production in fewer plants, hopefully. Like cherry tomatoes, once again, indeterminate. Some of these tomatoes are, and I've never had these before. Never had these before. I like a dark tomato, and sometimes those dark tomatoes are really sweet. I like a different tomato. This is a Cherokee purple tomato. Probably the best tasting tomato I've ever tasted. Hands down. If I chose one tomato, it would be these, and only these if I only could choose one. That's another indeterminate tomato. I have some Roman grand tomatoes. Might be able to use these for, and I hate to say this, I might use these for tomato sauce. However, if you want to make tomato sauce, use whatever type of tomatoes you want. There's not one variety just for tomato sauce. You can use any type you want. You can use regular Roma tomatoes. You can use Cherokee tomatoes. You can use cherry tomatoes. They're tomatoes. You might find a formula that works for you. You decide. And of course, I have some beefsteak tomatoes. Now, all of these tomatoes are, so far, indeterminate. Like I mentioned, I want to grow up. Some nice moderate-sized tomatoes. They're better boys. And these tomatoes here aren't really going to grow up. But they're a good, decent size. This is one of the sweetest cherry tomatoes out there. Not my absolute favorite, but if you want production, these guys here are going to produce tons of tomatoes. Now, these tomatoes here from Baker Creek are probably my favorite cherry tomato. They're sweet. They're a good size. They're my favorite. So if you have a favorite tomato, do me a favor. Put it in the comments. If you like a really good big size tomato, put the name of that one in there. If you have a your favorite cherry tomato. Put that in there. Just leave it in the comments. Give me some ideas and maybe give some other viewers ideas. Now this tomato here, I'm not sure if I've had these before. Last year I bought some Sun Gold tomatoes and these look a lot like them. They're great, sweet cherry tomato, very good producer. I'm not sure, these are called Golden Nugget. I'm not sure if that's just that brand name, but another very good tomato. I like something a little different too. I don't like just a basic plain red tomato, partially because of what I've seen in the grocery stores. If you've grown tomatoes, you know what I'm talking about when I say that growing a tomato tastes completely different from the tomatoes in the grocery stores. The tomatoes in the grocery store are grown for size, they're grown for uniformity, they're grown for how pretty they are, they're grown for durability and shipping, they've grown for disease resistance. You notice I didn't say that they were grown for flavor, because they really aren't. They're grown to make money. Now, most of my tomatoes are indeterminate, but I do have determinate tomatoes too. Difference being that determinate tomatoes are essentially bush types. Now, this might get, still get 4 or 5 feet tall, but they aren't going to grow 6, 8, 10 feet tall. But these are great tomatoes. Love those. Now I have 4 cattle paddles that I'm using for my trellises, so I'm not just going to put tomatoes on it. Zucchini. Zucchini squash. I might have some yellow squash around here somewhere. I think I may have ordered some. I'm putting those. My cucumbers. These are basic cucumbers. I have pickling cucumbers. And something I'm really excited about because I grew these last year with moderate success. Candy roaster squash. These things can get about this big, and the name implies how sweet they are. Candy roaster squash. Just toss them in the oven. You don't have to do much with it. Just bake it, slice it open. You can eat it plain as it is. You can add a little seasoning to it. You can add butter to it. If you want to try a different squash, these guys is a must too on your list. Next, peppers. Peppercini. I'll probably plant 2 of these. These are great for sandwiches. I grew up in Chicago, so they used this hoagie shop. They always put these on the sandwiches. These can be put on sandwich straight. You can pickle them and put them on sandwiches later on. A great mild to sweet pepper. Sweet peppers. Got my banana peppers. More banana peppers. Oh, and it's funny how the label, most banana pepper labels have yellow peppers on it. But I know even with other variety I showed you, if you leave those peppers on long enough, they will turn red. It's just a matter of time. And this here is one of my best producing peppers, the giant jalapeno peppers. I got tons of these. I made jalapeno poppers. I made them a few times. I loved them. My wife loved them. My son loved them. So yeah, I got to do this again because these were highly favored in my house. Cayenne peppers. This was another pepper plant that produced like crazy. I don't necessarily care what company I got them from. Every time I've grown cayenne peppers, I've had tons of production. And of course, as you're growing peppers, I gotta grow basic bell peppers. Great for cooking. I dehydrate these. You can take them later on and put them on steak, and fantastic. And who wants to spend $1.50 on a pepper? Well, you can grow these peppers here. Now these seeds might be about a year or so old. This pack of seeds, $20. I guarantee you there's probably about 50 seeds in this one package. Think about that. 50 seeds, and each seed can give you 25, 50 peppers, who knows? But the main thing is, if you're able to grow seeds, no, I'm not going to put it that way. You are able to grow seeds. There are different things you have to do with peppers. Peppers aren't difficult to grow. They just need a little heat if you're going to grow them indoors. Like for me, I'm going to plant the seeds indoors so I can get them out early in the season. but I just put them in some growing medium, not dirt. Didn't plant the seeds really deep. I put them under a heat mat, a little dome. Easy. Now they are easy to plant. I do have a couple videos. I'll link them in the comments. One is about how to plant seeds. The other one is the 6 seed starting mistakes that people make. Take a look at those. It might be helpful for you. Now for me, something that I always have to have, I have MIgardener and Baker Creek Burgundy Red Okra. Great producers. I think I planted these this year. I might plant these this year or plant them both. I get great production out of these. There's nothing like having fresh okra. And I know some people are like, ugh, okra is slimy and stuff. Well, I don't mind the sliminess. Also, I like eating these raw. You'd be amazed. The okra tastes very good raw. Also, if you know how to fry it, chop them up, fried okra is incredible. May not be as healthy for you, but give it a try. You might be surprised. Another thing, it's about kind of how I mentioned how tomatoes from the grocery store, tomatoes that you grow taste so radically different. A lot of foods taste different when you grow them. They taste better. I've had so many things that I did not like that once I started growing them, the flavor, I was just amazed how different and how much better food tastes if you grow it yourself. So if you have something you're maybe on the line, borderline as far as whether you liked it or not, try growing it. You might get a very pleasant surprise. Now, one thing about my seeds are generally heirloom seeds. Not that I'm against hybrid seeds, but one thing about heirloom seeds is if I plant it, and let's say I get a tomato or pepper, I can take some of those seeds and save them for the next season. And I will get the exact same variety. Now that is one drawback to planting hybrid seeds. Those seeds will obviously produce, whether it's tomato or pepper, whatever. But those seeds that they produce, if you replant those seeds, they might not give you the exact same variety that you expect. For instance, it might have let's say if my black cherry tomatoes, if those are hybrid, I can take those seeds, plant them, but the tomatoes that come out might not be black cherry. They might just be a regular cherry tomato. It might be a smaller cherry, might be a bigger tomato. They might be red tomatoes. You just don't know. A prime example is this. My wife had eaten some muscadine grapes she bought from the grocery store. She took the seeds and said, I'm going to plant these. She put them in a pot, and I had 2 or 3 vines like this. I took those, put them in the garden, and now we have these great muscadine plants. However, it produced 2 different varieties. One's a dark, smaller grape, muscadine grape, like this. The other is a bigger, green colored muscadine grape. They look pretty similar to the ones she originally ate. Now both taste good, fortunately. We love them. But it just goes to show you might not get what you expect if you take the produce from a hybrid plant and replant those seeds. Just a word of warning. And one of the reasons I plant my garden is because I like healthy food. So I'm going to be eating plenty of salads. Some of these lettuces I have several different varieties of lettuce. I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to plant, but I'm going to get some of these planted for the spring. And I do still have some in my garden now. But we're about to get down to 22 degrees next week. So those might be going out soon. No problem. I have plenty of other seeds that I can plant. Only drawback with lettuce in the spring, summer is some varieties do tend to bolt, or as we say, go to seed. But that's okay. I'll just save those seeds as long as they're not hybrid. Now, I'm about halfway through my seeds. And if you like my content, do me a favor. Share it out to your family and friends. Also, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. That will be here next time I have something going on in the kitchen or in the garden. Now let's get back to some seeds. Oh, in case you're wondering what all these other seed packages are, or old medication packages. Bell peppers, watermelon seed, sugar baby. Didn't mark it, but green beans and black diamond watermelons. These guys can get 60, 70 pounds. So yeah, I'm planting a few of these. Some people will say you can trellis the watermelons, but I'd rather not. Now my curiosity has gotten to me because I ordered these, but honestly, I forgot what I ordered. Seems to be a common theme. It's like a kid on Christmas. I asked Santa Claus for this and that and that and that. And then they forgot what they asked for. So everything's a surprise. And these are my seeds from MIgardener. I'm not going to take too much time with these, but I tried to try something different. A white scallop squash plant. Heard these are supposed to be very tasty and very good producers. Yimaka or Jimaka, whatever you want to call it. These guys here are supposed to be healthier than potatoes, less starch, and I do want to start growing more root vegetables. Right now, I currently just have carrots and beets and some turnips. So these should be a nice addition to my garden as far as root vegetables. I like having something that stores easily. I don't have to freeze it. I don't have to can it. I can just put it in a cool, dark area in my basement, maybe box them up, and these should last for months without any extra processing. Now, I've heard a lot about these Jimmy Nardello peppers. They're supposed to be fantastic, so I'm always willing to try something different. Never had them before, but I've never tasted a pepper I didn't like. Now, these are some Tigger melons. They're supposed to be very small, but they're also supposed to be very sweet with very small seeds. Never had them before, but I'm almost willing to try almost anything once. Oh, I couldn't help but order these. I grew kohlrabi for the first time this year and absolutely love them. You can eat the greens, you can eat that ball, whatever you want to call it. You can eat them together, you can eat them separately. They taste fantastic. So I figured I'll add a little extra color to the garden and plant the purple variety. And I'll compare these to what I already have in the garden. Now I know I have other cucumbers, but I ordered these specifically because they're parthenocarpic. Parthenocarpic, meaning they don't need pollinators. Every single plant or every single flower has a good possibility of producing a fruit, unlike other cucumbers where you have male and female flowers. These produce nothing but female flowers. So yeah, I expect to have a huge production out of these. Something I haven't done in a while, I'm going to give the corn a try again. I've had some success. I've had some failures. This year, I'm going to give it another try. I figure why not? Now, back in the day, I could walk into a grocery store and buy corn on sale for 10 cents an ear. Now, nowhere near that. So I'm going to plant all of these. And if I'm not getting good production, I'm going to replant and replant. I'm getting me some corn out my garden this year. Hey, I wonder if MIgardener is watching my videos because he knows I like my salads. He sent me a free pack of salad bowl mix. Yeah, these are getting planted too. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Maybe I should have made this a two-part video. But here goes. I told you I might have an issue. Hell's Best Cantaloupe. I'm going to put these on my trellis, grow them up because I'm trying to save space because I have so much more I need to plant. Golden green beans on the trellis. Regular green beans on the trellis. One thing I'm not going to worry about this year is having them put some of my favorite food on recall. So I have red carrots and yellow carrots. I have more carrots in the garden right now. I'm overwintering those. I'll bring them out maybe sometime in the spring once they get nice, big, and thick. Also, something similar to a regular carrot, parsnips. Never grown these before, but I figured for $2 a pack, I had to buy these seeds. I just had to. I have a problem. Snow peas. These guys are going out in my garden once there's any chance of frost because I love these. And sometimes when I pick these, they never even make it into the house. But don't tell my wife. No, don't tell her. But also, since my family has a hard time really finishing off a big watermelon, I love these sugar baby watermelons. Whether you're just a family that doesn't eat a lot of watermelons, or if you live alone, you want to grow some but not have a lot of waste, these guys are fantastic. They're sweet and they produce abundantly. Here's another really big watermelon. These are Carolina Cross watermelons. These are supposed to be huge also. I might have to enter Watermelon Wars again and see if I can win on this one. And as usual, I'm not just going for basics. I figured I'd try this yellow flesh watermelon. I tasted one last year and I think I really like them, but I need to grow a bunch of them just to make sure. Now I know I'm going to grow a lot of food, but I need a little help with growing that food. So I'm going to be planting a lot of flowers around my place, some directly into the garden. Now these are old seeds. I found these at my parents' house. My mother had. They're old. I'm almost embarrassed to say how old they are, but who knows? It's worth a shot. Even if one of them germinates, I'm going to get flowers. Now these are for some Russian sunflowers. These guys are supposed to get up to 12 feet tall. Some of these are going in my garden. They can feed the birds. They can feed the pollinators. They have to be in the garden. Add some more flower seeds here. Now this is just American wildflower mixture. They're old, but I figure I'd give it a try. I'm not going to just throw them out. So some of those are going in the garden. Some are going behind my house. Now these might be my most challenging seed. I'm on a health journey. I'm trying to provide good food for my family. And part of my health journey is I'm growing stevia. I've heard these are not the easiest seeds to grow, but I got to grow them. I at least have to give it a shot. So you'll be seeing these in some videos, hopefully. So as you can see, I'm growing a few things that are just not your basics. But last year, I tried something different. I tried growing herbs for the first time. It had pretty good success, especially with my chives and with my thyme. In fact, I fell in love with thyme because when I cooked my kohlrabi, I sprinkled some thyme on it. Yeah, I fell in love with them. So I'm growing more of those. But also I learned a lesson. I'm going to grow a bunch of herbs because I know I can use them. I know my wife would love fresh herb. So I'm going with dill, sage, more thyme, more chives, more basil. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I did not put thyme on my kohlrabi. It was the basil that I put on my kohlrabi. I dried it out, crushed it up over the kohlrabi. You gotta try it. But yes, I'm growing thyme. I'm growing lemon basil. Got this from MIgardener. You gotta try his website. Oregano. I know my wife mentioned oregano, so I gotta grow those. Rosemary and cilantro. I think I'm going to focus my greenhouse on growing herbs. I have a fan in there to kind of keep the air circulating so it doesn't get too hot in there. But I firmly believe that herbs is going to be one of the next steps for my garden. Last on my list is Totsoi mustard greens. I've grown mustard greens the last 2 years. This is a different variety, but variety is the spice of life. So yeah, I'm going to give these a try too. Now I know I mentioned I use several different places to get my seeds from. But where do you get your seeds from? Is it one of the places that I mentioned? Or is it someplace else that I don't know about? Put them in the comments. Maybe there's a seed source out there that we haven't heard about that we'd like to know. If they're that good, put the names in the comments. And if you want to keep the name secret, put it in the comments anyway. Trust me, we won't tell anybody your secret. Now, I live in 8A, Georgia, and for me, gardening season never ends. So I'm always getting out there doing something. Even today I went out there. But for many of us, you can't start your garden for months. But best way to get your garden started is get prepared. Gather your seeds, gather your gardening books, maybe even start planting some seeds indoors. So the only thing I got left to say is, let's get out there and get a little dirty. Yeah.